with a mutual friend of ours who was having a conference at that time, who was Jackie Hadnot, Apostle Jackie Hadnot. And so I appreciate the Lord for the connection with Coach Krystal, with Made to Lead Millions. And wow, this has expanded way beyond what I was thinking would happen. I was just going to do a one and done kind of a situation, which it's not been the case at all. So, because of the Lord using you and the many women we have met over the last year, I am just humbled and excited at the same time to be a part of this magazine, a part of this launch, just watching God do what He does. Even being a part of your emergers has helped me to grow and encourage me so much. A little bit more about me. I'm also grandma and auntie and sister. So it's pretty amazing what God is doing in our lives at this season. And you mentioned survivor. Definitely am a survivor of cancer along of October was cancer awareness survivors, along with domestic violence survivors. So all of that. I'm just a child of God, and I have been reminded of His goodness all year long. We're nearing the end of this year, but thank you for this space and time to allow us to celebrate Made to Lead Millions. Thank you, Coach.
Woo, woo, woo. Now y'all celebrate the cover. Woo,
Oh yeah.
Nice,
woo, woo,
nice.
woo, 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 woo. All right, Dr. E, you looking beautiful. I'm so excited that you were able to grace the cover of this amazing edition. So
Wow.
bless you, bless you, bless you. We are going to add to the stage none other than Dr. Shirley Clark. Come on in. Hello, Dr. Clark.
Woo-hoo!
Hello. I see the party is already started with
The
Dr.
party
E.
is it's already started. It's already started.
Wow.
I thank y'all for sharing. Y'all are doing a phenomenal job in sharing. And so you know sharing is caring. Come on
Yep.
now. And so
Yep.
y'all keep
Wow.
sharing out there because they need to hear our stories, who we are, and what is going on in this magazine. So, Dr. Shirley is my coach, my mentor. She is my confidant. She is woo wee. She has been my crutch and definitely a prayer warrior. So and she is a pusher. She has pushed me and stretched me in ways and places and countries that I I did not think that I would be going into. So, Dr. Shirley, if you would tell us a little bit about yourself, and she's all of that and a millionaire maker. So go ahead, Dr. Shirley.
Well, well, let's see. I'm gonna, like you said, land the plane real easy, quick here. The bottom line is that I am one that believe in. At this point, I'm definitely called to be that midwife. Even throughout my life, I've come from poverty, gross poverty, and to now that I'm a global voice, a thought leader, and a change agent. And it's been a journey. And so today I'm here to say that, no matter what your dreams are, your vision are, the bottom line, they can be manifested if you're in the game, if you get your mindset straight so you can get the right message. So as you do the right message, then you get the right money. So, you got to master the 3 M's. And so I'm now a business owner, a chief soaking officer, CSO, millionaire maker, a best-selling author, and own a business for 24 years, 6 businesses under that, from PR and marketing and branding. Millionaire brand strategist, a lot of things, a lot of titles now. There was a time, Commissioner Hill, I ain't have no title.
That's
Nobody wanted me. Didn't have no awards. I got a whole list of awards now. But the thing that I love that we are here to give back.
Yes.
Even this broadcast is to talk about what we've done. But the reality is there's a collective mindset here today to let people know that we have achieved things in our life, but it was the fact that we wanted to better you. We wanted to pay it forward. And I've often heard Dr. Hill say she looked at all the situation that was going on with, George Floyd and all these things, and she threw her hat in the ring. And that's what all of us are saying today, Lady Krista. No matter where we at and came from and where we see God is taking us, we're here today to throw our hat in the ring. We're already in the ring. And so we're here to tell you there's hope for you, coming from poverty to where I am a philanthropist. And then those of us that were not city planners, city leaders, and things, now you can say, I am not an author, but now we are authors. And so that's the way I am. I'm here looking for 10,000 women to help do what I did for Coach Krista, do what I did for others, do what I did with the 10 that became millionaires. I'm here to make sure that you make it in this earth. So that's really my story. And like Les Brown could say, I'm sticking to it.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Clark, for introducing yourself and letting the world know a little bit more about you. Now, you are featured in this magazine as well. And not only are you featured in this magazine, but you are also the endorser for Voices of Women Unleashed in Justice. And so, the majority of us on here right now are authors in that book. So, I want to take another minute and let Warguru introduce herself, um, and she is also an author in Voices of Women Unleashed in Justice. So, if you will go ahead.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach Krista, and thank you for this opportunity. When you talked about the magazine, I remember like I was back and forth with you, like, is it too late? Should I send the money now? What the titles are? It felt like a seesaw. And I was like, make up your mind. Pay the money, send the titles, don't ask too many questions. Like I could tell, like I know Coach Krista wasn't telling me that. I was like, Flo, do that. So my name is Waruguru Wahome Nyoike. I take this opportunity. I don't take this opportunity for granted, for even God allowing this to happen. I thank my God to begin with, and then also to have met Coach Krista, Dr. Evelyn, and our author Moody too, also, and Avalon. So I don't take it for granted because I know I have now friends who are other places or other states. On
Yes.
the other hand, why I chose the titles, I'm an author now. I keep saying, I don't know why I keep saying I'm a co-author, but also co-author and an author because I'm also working on my own book too with my girls too, as a Girl Scout mom. Why I say authentic community connector and authentic social worker, because when we are authentic and our real self, then we are passionate and compassionate for what we do. I did hear somebody say, if you don't love your job, then don't waste your time. Start doing what you love because you're going to get tired quickly. And if you're not authentic with what you're doing for others, if you're just feeling it's just a job, then you're in the wrong industry. So I've been passionate because I've worked with victims of domestic violence. I've worked with both families and youth experiencing homelessness. I always say, we all are always one paycheck away from homelessness because we know health can lead to that, a car breaking down or something, us touching into our savings and then leading into something else. So at times when I work with those families, I look inwardly to see what wealth do I have. And then also on the other part, touching every one of the individuals that I work with, I say, even if I don't see the success, they'll remember the touch, the gentle touch. What were the words? What was your approach? The judgment too, our bias too, because we are people and we're born with biases. But then when we reframe that, because I always put myself in their shoes, would I want to be looked up the same? Or would I want somebody to look at me and say, you're beautiful, you're irreplaceable, you're strong,
Mm,
you're built on resilience, and you're confident. And all of us are important, because at times we feel like, oh, I maybe not be like so and so. All of us are important because we bring some wealth of some sort in this world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Next, author Kiana Moody, I would like you to go ahead and introduce yourself. And then after that, we'll have author Avalon Brown. So go ahead, Lady Kiana.
Hi, everyone. I'm author Kiana Moody. My first book I wrote alone is Prayer Brings Everything to Pass. And in this book, it's basically two scriptures and a prayer for anxiety, depression, different things, most of the things that I went through throughout my journey. Now realizing where I am now, I'm working at a homeless shelter helping others, but I also gained assistance with this same shelter, and it blessed me so much. I was able to obtain a mailbox, and I was volunteering there, and now I'm actually employed there. And I just, I hug the guests, I help them with resources. I tell them my testimony to let them know that there is possibility, like there is a future. You can get through this. Don't give up on yourself, and God is with you. And even with the things that I'm constantly going through, because we are all still going through, no matter what, I'm still able to go there and smile and love these people unconditionally. So I feel so blessed, and I'm just going through this journey, and um featured in the book, in the anthology Voices of Women Unleashed in Justice. And my title is Purpose Behind My Pain. There is purpose behind my pain. And I love to inspire others to just come on and, live your life right, and just be saved and love God. Yeah. Thank
Amen. Amen. Thank you so
you.
much.
Welcome.
All right, author Avalon, please go ahead and introduce yourself and give us some information about what you do.
Hi, how are everyone? My name is author Avalon Brown. I've been writing books since 2012 was my first book, and because I'm a registered nurse of 42 years, I decided that I wanted to write a book about all my experiences because I started nursing in 83, and all the struggles, the discrimination, all of the challenges that I went through. So I started out writing a nursing book, and then I met a teacher from my town who suggested that I write a book for children based off my profession. And I started out writing a children's book called Mommy, Why Do I Have a Cold? Teaching children how to possibly prevent having colds, and made it as a picture book. And once I did that book, I made my grandchild the character. Realized I had 7 other grandchildren, 3 great grandchildren. So they also wanted a book where they were the characters. But after that, I wrote a poetry book, and it was a spiritual poetry book. And then I decided last year to gather up other nurses, to talk about their challenges. So I did an anthology with 10 other nurses from different specialties to talk about their challenges, what they went through, and why these challenges didn't make us quit the profession. So after that, I also did an anthology with the men, for their perspective as being a male nurse. And now, what I'm trying to do, I also wrote a book, a guide for nurses. If you want to get into the nursing profession, the steps, everything that you have to do. And my ultimate goal is now focusing on the nursing books because I would like to get out, speak to the young nurses because so many nurses are quitting the profession because of their challenges, and just let them know what we've been through, the older nurses have gone through in every different area of nursing, and maybe encourage them not to quit because a lot of nurses are leaving. There's a whole lot of nurses. There's millions of nurses, but not that many nurses at the bedside in the hospitals. That's why it's a shortage. Everybody's leaving the hospital. They're not leaving nursing. But I did retire last
Mm,
year after 42 years, but my license is still active. I'm still an active nurse. And that's pretty much my goal. That's pretty much what's going on with me.
excellent. Well, thank you so much. We do have, I love it because 42 years? Oh my gosh. You are doing it, and you don't want to stop. There's
Yes.
We can hear the passion in your voice and your concern for others out there that, are
Yeah.
nursing. And we also have another featured lady that is a nurse as well, Dr. Ivy Anderson. And right now she's in the midst of doing something, but she said she will try to get on here as well. But the group of ladies that are featured in this magazine are phenomenal. And there is someone that you can relate to, if not several, that you will be able to relate to their stories, what they have done growing up, who they are now, and who they were. So just I'm excited about this particular edition because it is power packed. Dr. Evelyn Hill is the visionary for Voices of Women Unleashed in Justice. And this particular edition is about women's voices being unleashed. We have got to allow our voices to be heard. And so we are introducing the 21 authors. Their pictures are in the magazine from the Voices of Women Unleashed in Justice. And Dr. Evelyn, I'd like you to tell us why you decided to do that anthology.
Well, thank you, Coach Krystal. And I just want to say thank you to Dr. Clark. She is such an inspiration to me. And I'll get to your question in just a second, but let me just say this about Dr. Clark. She blew me away. Her story of the extreme poverty she was in. But when I saw her drive up in her white Mercedes, I'm going, how does all that work together? I need to know a little bit more about this lady. So thank you so much for sharing your story, for
Sure.
inspiring us to move forward in our lives, that we are not stuck. We don't have to be in a particular place financially that is not where we want to be, that there is hope. There are some systems that some strategies that you share to move us to the next level. So thank you, Dr. Clark. And then you funny. I'm telling you, you're very intelligent. It's been such a pleasure just meeting and knowing you. So
Wow.
what inspired me um, with Voices of Women Unleashed in Justice, you just got to know, I've been around for a minute. I have heard many women's stories, and I was just taken how all these women have like been muffled over the years. They have not been able to share. Nobody cares. It just seems like nobody cares the pain, the agony that they have gone through, the injustices that they have gone through. And so I just thought, let's just pull these women together if they be courageous enough to share their stories. And oh my goodness, it happened. They actually shared their stories, and it was phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal. One lady in the anthology, she recently got an award, actually, and she's
Mm,
with an organization called AIR, which are advocates for immigrants. And she herself opened the door, not knowing as a kid, to the ISIS to come in, and they were taking her mother out of the home um,
Wow.
and was going to deport her. Her story is in the book. It was absolutely incredible. Um, every story in the book was just riveting. I just couldn't even get over the first lady, the first story that was in there. She ended up in incarceration, and we were trying to get her to share a little bit more of her story, and she said, "Well, that's not going to happen." But eventually, she shared more information, and man, it ended up being the first story in the book. I wanted to give women a chance to share. That was my whole purpose, and this thing has exploded. Do you remember when George Floyd was killed? There was a 9-year-old girl who shared her story. They kept her out of the courtroom. They kind of did her stuff on the side, but she needed to get that out. She was traumatized as she
Mm.
watched this police officer stay on the back of George Floyd. And so that baby inspired me also. There are so many stories out there that needs to be shared that would help release some of the pain and anxiety that women and children have been exposed to. And so
Yes.
this is why I started this anthology. When I met, I call our guest from Minnesota, because I never pronounce her name right. I just call her Miss Flo. And Miss Flo, she approached me about being in this book. I was just so taken. Thank you, Flo, for sharing your story. And Kiana, right in the middle of writing the book, she contacts me and says, my son's been shot twice. Let me get back with you. I'm going to have to take a trip to get. I'm going, what? Whoa, hold up. Back this straight. What did you say? She said, yeah, I'll get back with you in a minute. And then she said, can I add this to my story? Absolutely. So it's been amazing what God has done, the doors he has opened, because women's voices are being unleashed in justice. One of our authors literally is a judge, literally. And her story was about seeing an individual get shot and killed on a bus while she was on her way to school. And she said there was never any justice, nothing on the news. The guy got away with it. And that's when she decided she wanted to become an attorney and a judge so that she could make sure people would receive justice. So the stories are off the chain. So thank you for asking the question. I probably went above and beyond what you really wanted, but thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You know, it's so
No,
hard.
good.
The book, Voices of Women Unleashed in Justice, being, I'm so honored to be able to be the publisher, to be able to pull some of the stories out of the ladies. That was a blessing. But then there was a lady that said, "Oh, I'll endorse the book. Give me that book. Let me see what y'all are doing." And that's Dr. Shirley Clark. Dr.
Yes.
Clark, tell us a little bit why you endorsed this book, and what you saw and felt and experienced.
Well, I of course I told you about my life, but the reality is, for the past 20 years plus, I've been really working with the government in the governmental gate, and judges, working with their campaigns, and then senators and congressmen, and also been invited into the rooms with our governor. And so I've seen a lot. And while I'm not, what do you say, I'm an advocate, but not fighting. I'm big in that we need to change the word for people like Dr. Evelyn and all of the people, her counterparts, from being an advocate. You know, what it is, sometimes they think we are adversaries, but we're really an
Mm,
advocate, really. And so, because adversaries mean a lot of fighting. So I got in it because I saw who was in it. I saw who was leading Dr. Evelyn. I got to meet her. And then I heard about some of the stories you started telling me about. And I thought to myself, I need to be a part. It was like a light went off one day, because you was in the editing part. And I thought, why am I not a part of this? I always want to be a part of something positive that's going to bring, really positive change in the earth and give people a voice, like you all are saying. And there's so many untold stories.
Yes.
And so I wanted to make sure I lend my sphere of influence to this magazine, to this book. And so why I might not know everybody, but I know a few people.
Yes, yes,
I knew of
yes,
a few people that
yes.
perhaps would, be blessed by the book, and that you just never know. And I wanted to make sure that my voice, as they search me and as I get become more visible, that number one, that they'll see me connected to something that's great, that's giving people a peace, bringing about. You do know that this book probably gave some people some peace that they never had
Mm-hmm.
for 20 and
Mm-hmm.
30 years, you know,
Mm.
and by releasing it in a safe environment,
Mhm.
Yes.
and and,
Mm-hmm.
and having the mayor to also the give, the be the give the forward. I couldn't even believe it when I read it. I said the mayor is the put me in.
Amen.
So really I got in it because you gave people voices that did not have a voice, and I know what that feel like. From being
Mm-hmm.
in poverty, I had no voice.
Yes, yes, yes.
So,
I
so
love.
I'm big on giving people voices and making sure
Mm-hmm.
people, when they do share their scars or their
Yes,
wounds, they share it in a safe environment. And so I
Mhm.
yes,
wanted to be there again to be a part of that flame, to fan the flame and let
Mhm.
them know that we got your back. But
yes,
we also, I want to lend my sphere of influence that others would say, hey, this is a tool that I need to, to read and to support.
yes. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Clark. You know, Dr. Evelyn mentioned the trauma that happened to Arthur Kiana in the midst of us trying to gather the chapters and still gather, authors. Some dropped out, some came. Well, she was one of the ones that came in. So,
Mhm.
Kiana, how were you able to get back focused to finish your chapter after your son had been shot? I mean,
Well, God. Well, I prayed for peace. I prayed for strength and understanding, and He
That's
came through for
amazing.
me. Um, when I see that, I prayed and I knew that he would be okay because I believe in God. I have trust in him. He was shot twice, once in the stomach and once in his hand. And on the way down to Springfield, because it's 5 hours away, I just was continuing to pray. And I got there, and it was a day before his high school graduation. And he was okay. He was able to still walk across the stage and
praise
everything.
God.
Yeah.
So
So
praise
God,
God.
yeah.
Did you want to say anything else?
Oh,
Okay.
um, just say God is
Okay.
good.
Okay. I didn't want to cut you off. I did
He's
not want to cut
unique.
you off.
Oh yeah,
That is amazing, Lady
truly.
Krista.
Yes.
That is amazing that you persevered
Mm,
through all of that, and because most folks would have given up without even being shot like that. So we all celebrate you,
yes,
Yes.
um,
absolutely.
Thank
and you look
Abs-
good, and you look good. We
yeah,
celebrate.
you.
absolutely. Absolutely. Praise God for that. Now, Author Avalon, I don't want to leave you out of this discussion. I know you're not in the Voices of Women Unleashed in Justice, but we heard your passion, and I would like you to tell us a little bit more about a few of your children's books because they are so powerful. If you will, Author Avalon, did you hear me? You're on mute. You're on mute. There you go. There you go.
I don't know. Is it my computer freezing or are we freezing? You can
No,
hear
we're
me?
not freezing.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you. Hmm.
I didn't hear your full question because I don't know if
Oh,
it's my computer that's freezing.
oh, it could be. It could be. But I was asking you. I didn't want to leave you out of the conversation, so I was asking you about your children's books. If you could say a little bit more. Did
Yeah.
you
So
hear
I
me?
have, like I said, I have 7 grands and 3 great grands. So I wrote my in my books, and it's based on what they like to do. So, that's the book that I did. Like the first book I said was my Mommy, Why Do I Have a Cold? And I tried to put in there because my last job was an infection control nurse. Different different things that parents can show and teach the children what might, cause them to have the cold, because the little girl is asking, where do the colds come from? And then the next book was That Needle Was Not For Me. And it was about a granddaughter that hates to go to the doctor and get needles. But because she needed this vaccine for school, the doctor had to convince this little girl that she has to take the needle. Then I wrote about my great grandson. His father ended up, as a young man on dialysis,
Oh, wow.
and they used to go out a lot. So because he was sick, he did dialysis at this way. He had to talk to his son and let his son know that this big machine that's in the house is not hurting him. It was going to help him,
Mm,
make him feel
that's
better.
good.
This way they could start going out again. The next one is The Church That I Love, about my granddaughter who loves to go to church. The first time she went to church, she enjoyed the service and she wanted to keep going. And let's see, what's the other children? I had some of the names. Then Jaquay, the ant leader, about he's an older grandchild, about 14. So I wrote a story about him being an ant leader and them trying to get into this house to get some food to put away for the winter. But there's a lady in the garden who doesn't like ants and she's trying to get rid of these ants in the garden. So they have to get past this lady in the garden. So it's more of like an adventure book. And then I wrote what I did was did an anthology with all the grandchildren, and I called it Under Nana's Umbrella. So each one of them wrote a story about their life growing up with Nana, down to the youngest one. And
Wow.
I put their pictures in the book, and I made a story. So they each became like little co-authors. So those are a couple more, because I have my three oldest grands. I have to get them, and they're 20, 23, and 26. So I have to figure out what their story is going to be about, because they have to also agree to whatever I make the story.
I love that. Thank you for sharing because you are building a legacy of writers.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What a
Yes.
legacy of writers. That is so phenomenal. So thank you for sharing that. Um War Guru, I have I have a question for you.
Sure.
Now, when we launched Voices of Women Unleashed in Justice, and we all met in Kansas, and then we went to St. Cloud, Minnesota. I would like you to let our listeners know how it felt to be a part of the Kansas City launch and the St. Cloud book tour, book signing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I want to give thanks or give Jerry Clement her flowers, because if it was not for Jerry Clement posting a link, do you want to be a part of this book writing? And I'd always wanted to be an author. Like, it was a list I'd put for myself, one of, at the to-do list. I want to be an author or co-author sometime in my lifetime. So if it was not for Jerry Clement being generous with the resources, because at times resources come dressed in overalls, I could have had all the excuses and say, you know what, I don't think I have a story, or my stories are bogus. Who wants to read mine? But until I decide which story I want to share, my story is the best. So you decide whether yours is bogus or not. So being part of that lounge, I mean, it was a different feeling, because I remember Jerry didn't even tell me, but I was like, what is the image I want to bring out as an African person with African descent from Kenya? So I wore my outfit, both days, but then also that was a symbol to symbolize, I love my culture. I love my
Yes.
heritage. I
Yes.
belong somewhere. I came from somewhere. And then again, when we went to St. Cloud. So both opportunities have been very defining for me, because the one thing, my daughters have been involved, my family has been involved, both in Kansas and St. Cloud. And then my friend, whose daughters, her girls came to me and said, Shiko's mom, that was beautiful. I want to be an author too. So
Oh,
we're influencing at the same
Yeah.
time, empowering little ones, not just old ones, but old, middle, and little ones. So at times I always say, be careful with how what you say and how you say it, because words are powerful. Because you don't know who's listening and what they're gonna take. Because all we
Yeah.
want is our words to be words that are encouraging, words that are blessing, words that they can think of, like see themselves, yes, she did it, I can do it too. But then can I reach out to her and ask her or inquire, how do I get to do that? So I'm forever grateful for this opportunity, and I had there'll be more. I still have many stories to write. But why I chose my story on health is because I was thinking, what is the one story I'll be okay with even the world reading 5, 10 years to come, 15 years to come, because I wanted to be okay, not just okay, but to be, yes, I'll say maybe okay. I wanted to be okay that even 5, 10 years come, whatever I wrote, it still influences others. It still encourages others. It also builds on like people to think of, yes, if she did it and went through that, I can do it. Something to tell people like we are always gonna be our best advocates. We are always gonna be our own champions. We are the ones who pack on our parachute. So if we don't start with ourselves, then let's not expect other people to do it when they don't really see. Because what are we attracting? If we're attracting positivity, for sure there'll be people along coming with us. And then I like how Dr. Evelyn said the untold story. I had a story. I didn't know how the story was gonna, where it was gonna be published, who else was gonna publish their story. So I love the opportunity. You not being selfish by saying there's so many stories out there that we can share with others. Because even in my friends, my community friends, my Kenyan friends have told me, your story has encouraged us to speak up, be
oh,
our best advocates. Hearing people say that, like as little as health, because my chapter is on health, is like if we don't take care of ourselves, who else will take care of us?
That's
And we
right.
don't want to be the lab. I always tell people, don't allow it to be the lab. It's okay to have one test, two tests here, but be inquisitive. Why are we doing this a second time?
mhm.
Why are we doing this a
Yes,
third time? If of course, and monitoring your symptoms, whatever they are, those symptoms, and what you're taking too, because also it's not just symptoms, but how also are you feeling about your body? Because if you're really feeling the headache, is it the headache from the stress, or is it the headache
Mm,
because it was a long day, or is it the headache because you have lost so many family members? Because when I wrote this book, my sister-in-law had just died like 2 days ago, and so I
Oh,
had to travel. And I know I didn't share this with Dr. Evelyn, but I was thinking about like, okay, I don't want to miss this opportunity. I paid the money, but then I still gotta go bury
Right.
sister-in-law. So thank you, Dr. Evelyn, for the 10,000 text messages, phone calls, one after the other. But I had my own crisis, which I never talked about it then. But then again, I'm forever grateful, and I can't imagine whatever is ahead of us, because I know every day we're influencing, we're encouraging, we're empowering not just women, but even other individuals out there that are choosing to buy our book, choosing whether it's through me or through Amazon, whatever it is. I know for sure there are seeds that we are planting for future authors to come. Thank
yes,
you.
yes.
thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. I just celebrate you all. Y'all are phenomenal. Now there's another area that we featured in the magazine. And so a few of us were able to um, leave Galveston, Texas and go to Cozumel, Mexico. And so part of what we did was we had a conference at sea, the Made to Lead Millions wealth cruise. And on that wealth cruise, many of us, well, we met each other basically. Dr. Evelyn and I were roommates, and she was like, "What? You're gonna let me room with you?"
That sound like her.
and then we had some lashes that was an issue on the ship. So we had not only a ball, but it was relaxing. But we had God put us in a space under an open heaven.
Yes.
When we got on the Royal Caribbean cruise to go to Cozumel, that was my first cruise. And so we were stepping out, we were launching out into the deep, for real, for real. We we were doing stuff that we had never done before. And then the Lord just blessed us. We were able to go to the top, the highest point on the ship, and that was um the what you call it?
The sun that was it.
No, no, it was the room, the chapel. Thank you,
The
God.
chapel.
The
Okay.
chapel was
Uh-huh.
the highest
Y'all talk
point
about
on
that.
the
Y'all,
ship,
y'all
and it
went
had
without me.
blue stained glass. And we got to go there, and we actually sat in the chapel, and families were coming in there, just sitting and listening to us, and just having conversations about God. And that was like our first moment on the ship, one of our first moments on the ship. Um, and then we ate too much.
Let me just say, you can't take church people nowhere. They have to lay out, cry, cast the devils out the first night. Oh, you can't take church folks
And
nowhere.
yeah,
Moody, Sister Moody, you can't take them nowhere. They gonna find God somewhere. Hey, we out there. We been in the chapel. We been crying. That's a
so,
I'm
and
in
the
the
sun,
room. So you can't take church folk nowhere without finding God somewhere.
exactly.
Y'all
Yeah,
didn't
we
even know
felt.
the chapel was there. Next thing y'all know, I found y'all in a chapel. I said, boy, we had a great time.
Mhm.
The sunrises and the sunsets were amazing on the ship. We
Absolutely.
actually had an eclipse. So
Wow.
Yes.
in the magazine, I put a picture of the eclipse that we experienced. The sun was like super, super bright. And I said, when
Nice.
God baptizes what you do,
Mm.
he puts a sign and a wonder in the midst of it. And that eclipse was that sign and that wonder that we experienced while we were on the cruise. Um, I'm looking forward to doing something in 2025 or early 2026. But
Yeah.
I put some featured pictures in the magazine of our cruise time. It was we played, but we also got down to business. We had training sessions, and the ladies were became certified international speakers. We were on open
Wow.
water,
Yep.
and
Amen.
we are
Amen.
celebrating the certified international speakers that came out of the Made to Lead Millions conference at sea and wealth cruise. So those some of those pictures will be in featured in the magazine. And so Dr. Shirley and Dr. Evelyn got to experience this um, and trained and everything. So I would like you to give a just a few moments of what you experienced during that time and at the conference at sea.
You want me to start or Dr. Clark?
Go ahead, Dr. Evelyn, because
Okay.
Dr. Clark gonna show out. Dr.
Well,
Clark was a co-host.
yes. Well, I was just blown away. I didn't really know what to expect, and I was with all these people I didn't really know. But something Kiana said earlier, we just sometimes you just have to go for it and just trust God. So I did. I trusted God. But oh my goodness, I had an absolute blast. And I learned something. I learned actually more than one thing. We actually did really speak. We had to have put together a PowerPoint of whatever topic we had. And since I am a justice advocate, my whole PowerPoint was on justice issues. And, but even beyond that, every speaker had a phenomenal topic, and we learned from each speaker. I remember Dr. Clark praying for all of us, literally praying for us individually, speaking a word of wisdom over us. and it was just absolutely amazing. And this is something special that I took away from that cruise. Dr. Clark talked about the soakingpreneur, which is being able to soak in the Spirit of the Lord, um, and allowing the Spirit of God to give you information while you're in your soaking, praying, meditation time with the Lord. And so it was during that cruise that I learned that I hadn't even heard of soaking before. So thank you, Dr. Clark,
Mm.
for that. And so I learned how to soak, and it was out of that that I got these ideas
Mm.
about uh, what to do when our guests came in, when we celebrated the authors coming in from across the country here to Kansas. It was during that soaking, and since then, God has helped me as a commissioner what to do, what to say, some steps to take, some things to pray about. It's all doing this soaking. So thank you, Dr. Clark. That has been a pivotal
Wow.
thing that has really helped move me into a whole different area. So thank you for that. And Coach Krystal, just having those midnight sessions on the deck, watching the sun go down, watching the sun come up. I mean, it's been incredible. What an incredible journey. My life has truly been altered since that cruise. The things I've learned, the
Wow.
friendships I've made since then, it has been incredible. So thank you for inviting me, allowing me to room with you. Because if I had the room by myself, I probably wouldn't have been able to afford it at that time.
Yeah.
But I am so grateful for the whole thing. I remember in the mornings, we would look out, and there was Dr. Clark waving at us from on the other side of the ship. I think she was in the next room or two down the.
You remember too much. I gotta
It
watch
was
what I do wrong on you.
so much fun. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop.
Now,
And that
I
picture is
just
in the
remember this. Don't
magazine.
do nothing you
That
don't want
that
to
picture is
do.
in the magazine.
And listen, Coach Krista, I can't do nothing because you got that in the magazine. They get ready to see that in Monday. So she ain't lying. So oh, that was a lot of fun. You know what? I'm I'm blessed by what Dr. Evelyn really said about the soaking God. I knew I had tapped into something years ago, and to hear someone at her caliber in the community and her positions and things, to say how she went, that it changed her life, and she started activating it, and she's got ideals. It works, doesn't it? That's why I
Yes,
just want
ma'am.
people to
Yes,
say it
yes.
works. Becoming a soakingpreneur CEO, it really works. And so I'm where I am today because I chose to be in his face more than other people's face. Oh, cool. Somebody
Thank you,
gonna
Jesus.
get that.
Ooh, I received
That's a
that.
comment chat right there. What you behold, you become. And so, Dr. Eva, I really would love for you to just take this in your spirit, and those of you that worked it, even Lady Krystal, I feel the call. I want 10,000 women to mentor that I can pour into. I'm just trying ways that it's literally to beg people, let me help you, because like you got the ideals, how to do this book, how to do the book signing, all of that just by being in his presence. We work too hard. I'm trying to get people to work smarter because
Yeah.
when I get in
Yes.
his
Yeah.
presence, he
Yeah.
opens doors. You would have thought the pictures I saw of the event, the launch, I was somewhere else and I thought I was going to get there, but I ended up had to be speaking that weekend in Tulsa and working, doing some other different things. But the fact of the matter, it looked like you had planned that for a year. You all had such, that's what I'm saying. God would do this and favor
Mhm.
you. They were people that were so into you or be there to help you push that baby through. When you look at those pictures, it look like you it's about a year you have been planning all of that. And it wasn't God. And
Yes.
then to bring such credible ladies into the book,
Yeah.
and they wanted to be a That's why people want to network with go out and do a bunch of networking. Sometimes if you just network with God,
Come
Mm.
on.
it brings
Come
Yeah.
you
on.
Come on
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Say
and that's
that.
what he did for that book. He brought some incredible people to be in that book. And the
Yeah.
stories was they were not the same stories. They were not, ABC situation. It
Mm-mm.
was a serious situation that
Yeah.
started from when they were kids and years, their family, being tormented. And yet for them this was restitution. The parents
Yes. Yes.
in that.
Yes.
And so I'm blessed hearing that. And I know I said, woo, we got to edit this video and chop it down for soaking. You know, so Lady Krystal, real exactly
Yes.
like how Evelyn said, I'm gonna put it up on my website. I commission them. Keep it
Amen.
from God from soaking. No, but I feel that you are certainly you encourages me to become a community activist even more, and that's what I really want you to know. It really ain't you just I know God is calling me to that next. So you never know why people come into your life. And Dr. Hill and the some of the judges I know that love the Lord, they're the one that confirmed to me that you can be a strong Christian and be in government.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
compromise
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
your God, not you got to change your language. You can't say God.
Yeah.
No, so those that don't know God, they ain't changing their language.
No.
Okay.
Mhm.
So Dr.
Wow.
Hill, for me, it's another testament for me living epistle
Mhm.
for me to look at and say I can do this and I can hold on to my God. So
That's
that's why I want to let you know that I've accepted my assignment, my government seat,
right.
because of
Wow.
coming another person like you, letting me know I can stick with, I can have God, I can call this like,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt comfortable knowing now I'm
Mm-hmm.
good. So I can tell people for years I don't want to hear nothing. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to
Mm.
hear nothing about no prophecies or God wanted to put me in no any kind of
Mm.
type of government. But now I'm saying whatever it takes, I'm willing
Mm.
to take up the
Mm.
matter. And a lot of this is because of now Dr. Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm seeing her a forefront in her faith, and yet
Mhm.
she's committed and she's sharp. If you'd have seen her PowerPoint on the cruise, this is where I love, and I know we need to move on, but I love that now. For a long time, we didn't really have a good voice. Really, we just say we create, Jesus, and we didn't really have the intellectual capital,
Mhm.
the character, and we weren't competent enough to sit in those seats and at the table. Dr. Hill proved to me on that cruise that she had her I say all of that was working. She had the resume, she had done her homework. When she presented, it was excellent. The information and the presentation, it was
Mhm.
not substandard. This is what we have to learn. If we going into these gates, we got to come with a spirit of excellence. Bottom line.
Yes.
And thank you.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the life-changing cruise opened so many avenues and doors. And, this book, this other opportunity, and now we're touring around. We've gone to Kansas City and St. Cloud, Minnesota, and now we're going to next weekend. We're going to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, for the last drop coffee shop uh, book signing like no other. And so,
Yes.
who would have thought that this cruise ignited this little trickle down effect? But being
Wow.
obedient
Mm-hmm.
and hearing, a lot of times when we spend time in prayer, we're talking, we're talking, we're
Mm.
talking, we're talking. But soaking teaches you to listen.
Listen.
Yes.
Soaking teaches you to sit back and shut up.
Mm-hmm.
It sure does.
Sit back and stop crying and
Mm-hmm.
allow God to speak. And
That's
when he speaks,
mm.
woo! floodgates open,
Yeah.
things begin to shift and move. And I'm telling you, in this last year,
Yeah.
I went through a divorce after being married 27 years. And so being able to write and publish and travel and heal and be able to meet some of you, I mean, just all of you are amazing, phenomenal, profound, prolific women. You are, you don't know how inspirational you are. You don't know how your voice has touched me, and each
Mm.
one of you have touched me. And when putting this magazine together and seeing your faces and
Mhm.
knowing your just part of your story, because I don't know all of your story, but knowing your stories and being able to look into, a picture says what? 1,000 words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really does. And so when you're a seer, you look into this picture and you begin to prophetically hear who this person really is, and why they're here and what their purpose is, and how they need to um, how they need to be stretched out and pushed out in front of other people. And that's what
Yes.
Made to Lead Millions magazine is all about, because we don't know who God has called us to touch. And when the pages are opened and they begin to see who you are and can figure out how to contact you and be inspired by you, your written words, your written stories, and just how your passion shows through your pictures, you are influencing,
Yeah.
you are impacting, you are changing lives. And I remember when I wrote my signature book, Made to Lead Millions, I was like, God, I don't have a million followers. I don't, I don't even know a good 10,000 people. I don't have a long list. If they said, Coach Krystal, come to the front, I'm going to say, who knows me? And there's not going to be a whole lot of hands up that say, I know who she is.
Yeah.
She made me laugh, or she made me cry, or she's crazy. All I know is God said, right.
Yes.
And he said, whether you are here when you reach touching a million people or gone, that's my business. He
Yeah.
said Moses' mother didn't know when she pushed him out in the little basket on the Nile. She didn't know that he was going to be
Lead.
responsible for leading God's people out of
Wow.
bondage. But
Yes.
these women right here, Wara Guru, author Avalon, Dr. Shirley, Dr. Evelyn, author Kiana, these women right here are made to lead millions, and they are here to lead you out of oppression, lead you out of depression, bondage. These women here, they
Yes.
have the influence, they have what you need. And that's why they're in this magazine. That's why we are celebrating not only them, but the other people that are featured in this magazine. So let me name a few of the other featured authors. They are, all of these people are pretty much authors or something. We will be introducing the, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that, but we are introducing the Voices of Women Unleashed in Justice. So that's a whole anthology. So 21
Mhm.
women. We are
Mhm.
also highlighting the Made to Lead Millions cruise. We are highlighting the certified international speakers that were certified on that cruise. We are highlighting a gentleman. His name is Sterling Roberts, and I'll be interviewing him tomorrow. So, for those of you that are watching now, I'll be interviewing him tomorrow. He is a gospel artist. I interviewed
Mm.
him during the pandemic or a little bit after the pandemic, and on my former podcast. And so now I'm excited. I'll be able to interview him on Made to Lead Millions podcast. And he every he is from Trinidad Tobago. He is phenomenal. Some of his songs are rock solid.
Mm.
Um, Agogium. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but y'all know what I mean. Fortress, um, Deliverer, and Most High. Those are the five that I know that are award winning.
Mm.
It's like everything he touches turns to gold, and he has a phenomenal voice. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. We will be interviewing him at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, and he is featured in the magazine just a little bit. We have Chantel Taylor, another author from Voices of Women. We have Dr. Shirley Clark, Dr. Zenin, Dr. Diana Zenin, and she will be going to Oklahoma City as well. Professor Gigi. Now, y'all, I got to tell you a little bit about my mama.
Awesome.
My mom is featured in this magazine. Now, my mom is phenomenal, Professor Gaynell Gaynor. She is
She's still
84
there.
years old. My mom and my dad are still married. Hallelujah. And they will be celebrating 59 years in January. Come on, somebody.
Yes.
Mm, yes, yes,
And
yes.
my mom is responsible for causing, well, not causing, allowing the first junior college to be recognized as an HBCU. My mom,
Wow.
yes,
Wow.
yes,
Mm,
and they with the
awesome. Yeah.
paperwork and the information that she filled out, they have gotten over $15 million over the years since she presented that. Amen. And then my mom has been
Amen.
featured on BET
Wow.
with Queen Latifah, her
Yeah.
documentary. My mom has three documentaries, and one is Walk on the Water, and that appeared in movies throughout the nation. She's also responsible for igniting and restarting the Camp Founder Girls Association, and so she did a documentary there and flew to Bentonville, Arkansas. They flew her there so that she could be filmed and give her testimony. And so my mom is phenomenal. And that's why
Yes,
she
he
is
is.
in Made to Lead Millions magazine. So she
Yes.
is
Yes.
featured. She
Yes,
couldn't be
yes.
here now because, again, she's doing 20 million things. But I'm going to be here to shout it out, shout
Yes.
out for her. So
Yes.
she is another featured author and just a phenomenal actress. And so,
Yes.
and she was our host for the cruise. She
Yes.
was
Yes, she
our
was.
part of
Yes.
my mom and dad did the travel for the cruise. So they trekked their way, they did their thing, and they had us laughing too. So
They did. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
another featured author is Dr. Ivy Anderson. That's the other nurse, that nurse practitioner, and she has a phenomenal story as well. And she is also in the Voices of Women Unleashed in Justice. So the connections here and the voices being unleashed are phenomenal. So I want to thank you all for coming in and for being a part of this magazine and for being a part of the anthology and for being a part of this launch. Y'all
Yeah.
are amazing. Y'all are amazing.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you for the
Lady, so
opportunity.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank
when
Thank
you gonna
you.
bring them to Texas?
you.
When are you gonna bring them to Texas?
Uh-oh.
Hey,
Hey,
Uh-oh.
Hey, yeah.
And everything
hey,
else how they feel.
Coach
I'm
Krystal.
just saying. I'm just saying. The
okay.
year's not out.
2025.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I'm just looking like why we ain't been in Texas. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, well, we'll
Hey,
have
So,
to
Coach
so,
come.
so
Crystal.
we haven't been invited to Texas yet. This is the first time I
Okay,
heard the
can
invitation.
we invite you on
Yes.
the 14th? That's my only day free in December. That Saturday.
Well, maybe we need to
Can we
have a
bring them? I can invite my governmental friends and
yes,
Yep.
yes,
Okay.
Yep.
can mom make it? I got to have mom here. That we might
yes,
have.
yes.
We ain't
Well,
Yeah.
doing that
we
bus
might
thing
need to
no
do
more.
a
We gonna fly mama in. We ain't doing that bus thing like mama did. That little no.
Yeah, that's so.
well, we might need to have an author retreat and just bring a bunch of authors
Can we do
together.
that? Oh, I got.
And,
I can get a church now. I can
But
get a local. My friend said we could use that room for check
yes.
that out. So let's look at the 14th, guys.
and
Okay.
Coach
I don't know
Crystal.
the 14th of what?
December.
Dr. Clark. Yeah.
You know what's so funny about this? Me and my
I
granddaughter.
can't make it.
Okay, whoever.
My granddaughter and I was riding this day. Can you hear what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
My
yes.
granddaughter and I was riding down the street today, and she was asking me, Nana, this the oldest, the 27 years. She said, Nana, you ever go to Texas? I said, what I'm going to Texas for? And it's funny that y'all bringing up Texas.
And
Wow.
and then I wanted to mention after the very first launch, I had a dream that same night that we all were on a book tour and I heard in the spirit made to lead millions. And when I woke up the next day, I told Coach Crystal about that dream. That's amazing what God is doing.
Yeah.
Wow. You gonna
Yes.
take it to another level now. Now we got the Made to Lead Million Book Tour conference. We got a book tour conference there.
Yes.
Now that's what I
Yeah.
heard. Did you hear that, Dr. F? Did you hear that? Okay.
Yes.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
heard it. I heard it
Ooh.
loud and clear.
I
Okay,
Yeah.
saw
okay,
all
good.
of us, all of the
All of
women and
us.
Okay,
voices of
maybe we
women
can look at
unleashed.
January, February, then starting
Yeah.
out here in Texas. Then
Okay.
that's
Okay.
what,
All
See,
right.
y'all.
Lady Crystal. That's
And
yours.
when are we gonna go to the
That's
cruise?
not
When
what
is
I
the
said.
cruise?
That's not what I said. So that's on you.
Well, we can all come to Texas
You
and then we
know
can
it.
go on a cruise from here.
There you go.
Exactly. We gotta go on that cruise 2025. I want to be a part of it. So
Me
please.
Okay.
too.
Yeah, yeah. We want to say hi and see all those sunrise and sunset.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly.
Dr. Evelyn, you
You
got a
know?
team of your people want to go on the cruise. So you got to be a host of
we got
it.
we got to get it together. Okay. Well,
Okay.
look, y'all are going to be part of the committee,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
planning committee.
I knew better to put my mouth out because I knew that was coming.
And look, Arthur Avalon, she sealed the deal because she said, "What am I going to Texas for?" Okay, so she already knows.
Yes.
My granddaughter already knows. They got to come to Texas. We got to do something in Texas, something
Yep.
big, because everything is big in Texas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, driving to Texas, right?
All right. Well, we
Yes,
need to look at
yes.
it in February. If you go beyond that, February is a good month for me before I start doing my international travel. So here we are live. Yeah, we having good time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
We need to
Yeah.
plan for February, Black History Month. Anyway.
okay,
Justice,
okay.
justice.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, we'll see what we can put together, fashion together. Lord have mercy.
Exactly.
Maybe we can do a conference. We just need to get the date and let me run it by my people.
Okay. We got a place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Sounding good. All right. Well, I don't want to delay too long, but I would love for each one of you to tell our audience how can they get a hold of you. And again, who you are, what you do. Just give me like a minute or less, real quick. And so we will start with Dr. Clark, because I know you got your elevator speech together. So Dr. Clark, teach us how to do it.
Mm.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Okay. You know, they call it now verbal business card now. So
Yes,
that's the new language. Okay.
the
But
verbal business card.
listen, like you said, we love having fun, but I am a life and business success strategy. And so right now, I'm called to women's. And so I'm looking for women, females, entrepreneurs, coaches, those are service providers, thought leaders who want to do more in life. You want to be properly brand, and you want to also make six figures or to a million. And I'm big on the whole side of sustainability as well. So that's what I'm called to do now. So if you're interested, you want to be certified as a coach, you want to this vortex over your life to be shifted through soaking to become a soakingpreneur CEO, then I'm your girl. I'm your girl. If you're trying to start a coaching business, speaking business, become a digital educator, all of those things and more, then we would certify you and get you ready and make sure the doors are open. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And so you need to go to Dr. Shirley Clark, DR, and Shirley Clark, and Clark without the E, drshirleyclark.org. And that's my website. You can contact me there. Well, I'm Googleable. You can get up with me. Just put my name in Google, and you can get up with me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Author Avalon, I'm going to let you go next. Did you hear me, Author
Yes,
Avalon?
hi. Okay. You can find me on Facebook under author Avalon S. Yes. You hear me?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. You can find me on Facebook under author Avalon S. Brown. You can also contact me at author Avalon S. Page, Becoming an Author with Avalon and Angie B, where we help other authors, other people become authors, those who want to be authors or be in an anthology or have audio books. You can come to our page, Becoming an Author with Avalon and Angie B.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Word Guru, you're next.
All right. So me, you can find me. I'm on TikTok under the name Mimi Waruguru. So thank you for the following, Coach Krista, and I think Dr. Evelyn. I'm on Facebook under Mimi Waruguru still, and also my blog under Mimi Waruguru. I love telling stories. I know at times I talk with my language, but my expression, the biggest being how I express myself, because I feel everything consists of laughter, but it's the overjoy that I bring to my channel. So TikTok, blog, and Facebook. That's where I am. Thank you. And I'm based in Minneapolis. I'm in Minnesota, Minneapolis.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Um, all right, hold on. Let me bring to the stage Dr. Diana Zinnin, but wait, Dr. Diana, I'm gonna let Kiana go before you. Kiana, go ahead and let people know how to get a hold of you and follow you.
You can I have a TikTok, so my name is spelled QIANAMOODY. On my Facebook page, my name is author Kiana Moody, the same spelled QIANAMOODY. And you could reach me on my email address qmoody74@gmail.com. And I'm here in Kansas City, Missouri, and I work at a homeless shelter. If you would like to donate any items, please let me know for our homeless community. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Dr. Evelyn Hill, our front cover speaker.
Thank you again. You can always catch me at drevelynkiel.net. That's my website. I'm also the founder of Justice and Equity for Life, and you can catch me there. Justice and Equity, the number four, and then life.com. You can catch me there. My email address is drevelynkiel at gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And Dr. Diana Zenon. Now, Dr. Diana Zenon is joining us. She is been volunteering all day, and she was like, "I got to find the link. I'm coming in." So please, ladies, stay and support her as she. I'm gonna ask her a couple questions because she was on the cruise, and she's also in Voices of Women Unleashed in Justice, and she's also been to Kansas, and she'll be going to Oklahoma. So, with that being said, if you will go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your experience on the cruise and with the book Voices of Women Unleashed in Justice.
Okay. My name is Dr. Diana Zenon. Actually, Dr. Diana Davis Zenon. I'm taking back my maiden name in the next couple of months. But the cruise, when I went on the cruise for 2022, it was 2023 was the very first time I've been on the cruise. I always wanted to be on the cruise, go to a cruise, but I never had the courage until Krystal presented the opportunity. I learned how much I love the water. I'm not a swimmer, but on the water, you get a different perspective about the world at large. You don't. It's not about your little corner of the world anymore. You begin to see the world in a whole new different perspective. I learned that while I was on the water, I was able to hear more clearly. I was able to focus a little bit more. I was part of a community, a part of a relationship, a group of ladies that was ready for change, ready for new perspective, ready for whatever God is willing to do. And those same ladies, along with others, became part of an anthology, Voices of Women Unleashed and justice. And those women, even the additional women, again, it expanded my horizon because you always think about it's just you or your four or your little corner in the world. But when you get involved in the community or with groups of people, you find that the world is much larger than what you think it is, and that what you're going through is no different from what anybody else is going through. It's just amazing how God brings people together for a common good and for a common way of deliverance and bringing in the new things into your life. And that way you're able to see, well, if she can do that, I can do that. You get encouraged and inspired with the dreams and the visions that God has given you, have placed inside you to do more, to be more, and to be a better version of who you are.
Thank you so much for sharing, Dr. Zenon. And I look forward to seeing you next week as we go
Amen.
to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Woo! Yes, indeed.
And I'm super excited about that. And so the book will be on a platform on Monday that you will be able to share. And so you just check your emails. I will be sending out text messages so that we can share this wonderful experience with everyone who knows us. So please share your flyers and your information, and I'll be sending more information out for you. This magazine is phenomenal, and the movement has already begun. So I encourage those of you that are inspired by this live today to join the movement. Get the magazine, get the books, get with these authors and coaches and phenomenal women and join the movement. We're here about the change. We're not here just talking about it, but we are being about it. And so it's time
Amen.
for you to join the movement. We are made to lead millions. I want to thank everyone for joining me. I want to thank all of you for believing God and hearing God and being a part of all these things that we have talked about on today. And so I look forward to making you more visible in the future. And if you are interested in being in the Made to Lead Millions magazine for our future editions, please go to crystalhenry.net and join the next edition. Now, if you are looking for a mentorship, the Emergers, the 11th Hour Emergers, we meet monthly, and that is my mentorship membership. And you can connect with us, that this amazing group. Dr. Diana and Dr. Evelyn are part of that Emergers group. And you can connect with us at krystalhenry.net. Go to the 11th Hour Emergers page and join. And there's so many more things that God has called me to do. So check out my Facebook page, Krystal Henry, Coach Krystal Henry, and the Made to Lead Millions podcast page. Check out these podcasts because many of these women have already told their stories on the podcast. So make sure you check out the Made to Lead Millions podcast.
Amen.
And on Thursdays, if you are in the Atlanta area, the Krystal Henry Show airs at 10:30 Central Standard, 11:30 Eastern Time. And please check it out. There's amazing, phenomenal biblical teaching that you will get from the Krystal Henry Show. And with that being said, I want to say thank you again. God bless you all. We're about to end this live stream and we'll end it just saying, praise God, glory to God. Let's do a hand
Praise
praise for each other. God bless you all. Thank
Amen.
you. You are phenomenal. You are wonderful. You are amazing. And be on the lookout because we're doing this now, but wait, there's so much more to come. God bless
Amen.
and see y'all.
Amen. God bless.
Amen.